Well, welcome back, folks. This is another in our Shop Talk series, and we're going to discuss today my sodium bicarbonate, otherwise known as soda blasting unit that you see here in the shot. I'm preparing to use this to clean the aluminum cylinder heads and eventually the carburetor bodies for my little Yamaha Y01 project, and I thought it'd be a good time to talk about soda blasting. I bought this cabinet some time ago. I think I got it off of eBay. It might be available now through Harbor Freight. I'm not sure. I haven't looked for them there. It's an inexpensive unit, and if I was to do a lot of soda blasting, which I don't, I do it maybe once or twice a year, I would invest in a more expensive, a little more robust unit. This unit, though it works, is rated at 15 pounds. I believe what that means is the tank is designed to hold 15 pounds worth of media. And the size isn't the problem. The issue is it's temperamental and finicky to use. It requires very dry media, soda, and it requires regular agitation to keep the media stirred up. So the pickup tube, which goes down from the top down in the middle of the tank, picks up adequately. Otherwise, you get surging going on. And I have not been able to overcome the surging to this point. So I've just learned to live with it. I don't know in terms of availability of better quality units, what's out there, because frankly I haven't researched it. This one works okay for my purposes. I'm very confident it's made in Asia. The gauge there, as you see at the bottom, the pressure gauge, I added, and I believe, if I recall, some time ago I replaced at least one or two of the valves. There's a valve up here, and there's a valve down here, and I replaced at least one of those because it was leaking right from the get-go. You see there at the top the nozzle pointing towards the camera. That is actually the nozzle that the media exits from. I use a very fine sodium bicarbonate. I buy it in 50-pound bags from Harbor Freight. I'll show you a shot of that material here in just a moment. The other challenge I have with this unit, and it might be common to all of them, I don't know because I haven't researched other units, is in order to fill the tank, you've got to remove this top block here, this regulating block, and fill the media through that small neck right there. And I'll give you a shot of what that looks like here in a moment. In order to fill the canister with media, you have to loosen this large nut right here, which I just keep finger tight. I don't tighten it with tools. And you just loosen this to release the pickup tube, like you see there. And then down here at the bottom, the air supply, which provides the compressed air up into the mixing block, you have to release also by compressing with your fingers this fitting and pulling the air supply tube out. Then you can remove the pickup tube. There you can see the drilled holes where the media enters the pickup tube and is pulled along by the air supply through the compressor and then exits at the nozzle end. There's a shutoff valve here. That's on, that's off. That's for the media itself, and then there's a shutoff valve at the bottom for the compressed air. And there's our challenge with filling the tank, that small opening we have to work with. So what I use is just a thin funnel, like this long thin funnel with a opening here that just fits into that neck nice and tight. Then I put media in this plastic container and I just sprinkle it in and shake the container while I do it. You don't want any clumping, you don't want any compaction of the media, otherwise it'll plug the opening in the bottom of the funnel. So you have to be patient and take your time, like that, and just let the media gently flow down into the tank. So that takes a little time. It's not a big deal, it's just a little bit time consuming. Then it's just a matter of reassembling the unit in reverse order. Pushing the pickup tube down in, starting when tightening the nut, and then reinserting the air supply tube back into the block. Then we would connect the air supply coming from the compressor here, adjust the regulator to about 90 psi, 90 pounds, so I put that sticker on there to remind myself of what psi run this at. I found that 90 pounds per square inch seems to work best for this unit for me. So I can adjust the regulator right here, and then we're in business. This is the media that I use. I buy it in 50-pound bags. I get it at Harbor Freight. I believe you can buy it online also through eBay and probably other sources. But Harbor Freight is convenient for me, and I just buy it there. This bag I've had probably for 3 years, and there's still probably that much left in the bottom. So you can see I don't use a lot of it. While I am getting down there, I'll probably be making a run here fairly soon to pick up another 50 pounds. It's not very expensive. In terms of consistency, you can see there, it's just a very finely ground sodium bicarbonate. Very similar to what you would find in your kitchen for cooking purposes, though this is an industrial. This is called a maintenance formula. I think they called it that because it's used in maintenance applications for cleaning equipment in industrial settings, but it's very, very finely ground. When you're using a tank like this in the media, a couple things to keep in mind. This is a total loss system, and what I mean by that is you do not reclaim the media. As it's used and exits the gun or the tip and impacts the part being cleaned, it turns to a very fine dust and goes everywhere. That's why I do it outside, preferably with a little breeze to carry the dust away from me. I'll put the breeze, if I can, at my back and blast away from me to carry the dust away, because I end up all white from this. And that brings me to the next point, which is a respirator, or at minimum a good quality dust mask, because this is like breathing a soft drink. If you ever breathe this in dust form, it's very irritating, and literally it's well, it's like breathing a soft drink. I don't know how else to say it. So I wear a good quality dust mask when I blast, along with I take my street glasses off and wear regular safety glasses, because it'll end up all over my glasses, in my hair, on my clothes, even with the breeze at my back and trying to blast away. It ends up everywhere. So unless you've got the right conditions inside, you typically will not be blasting with soda inside unless you can contain the dust. It's a total loss system. There is no reclamation of this. That's it for a little review of my soda blast cabinet. One other point just comes to mind. This is not the same as vapor blasting. Vapor blasting, which you hear more and more about these days, is a totally different technology. It uses water mixed with, I believe it's a fine glass beads, and creates a slurry, and it has to be pumped. So it's a specialized process. It does a wonderful job, by the way, on soft metals, or probably all metals. I know soft metals in particular. I've never used it. There is an outfit about 40 miles from me that does commercial vapor blasting, and I have a buddy that has taken motorcycle parts there and had them done, and he was quite pleased with them. I've just never used it. I've always used the soda blast unit here, and it's worked fine for me. You can buy equipment for vapor blasting at home. It's quite expensive. I think you're talking over $1,000 or so to get started with it at home. Though don't quote me on that. I never really investigated seriously home vapor blast equipment. There's also plans out there, I believe, on YouTube or the internet where you can make your own, but again, fairly expensive. You gotta have slurry pumps and some specialized equipment for that. Even a DIY project or do-it-yourself would be, I think, quite expensive. And unless you are intending to go in business for yourself or you have an awful lot of vapor blasting to do, it might be just easier to try to find a local source that you could take your parts to have them vapor blasted if that's the avenue you wish to pursue. But for me, I just use this soda tank, which is dry and doesn't require any water or specialized equipment. That's my review of my soda blast process or equipment and the material that I use, the soda. What I'm going to do now is demonstrate using the soda blast unit on the Yamaha YL1 cylinder heads that I've been preparing to reinstall on the bike. They're a great project for utilization of the soda blast unit. I've already done some work on prepping the cylinder heads, and you'll see that in another video a bit later on. But I thought this would be a good opportunity to show the blast tank in action. So I'm going to set up for that, and we'll pick up the video outside as I prepare to blast the Yamaha cylinder. Well, I'm set up outside. It's not a very nice day. It's winter time. It's just above freezing here, and you can see a little light snow on the table or the wagon back there. It snowed real lightly this morning, but it is what it is, so I got to get this done. Everything's hooked up, compressed air, regulator adjusted. You can see the head's laying there right now. So I'm going to move in close. I'm going to get started, and I'll give you a chance to see the process in action. I will turn off the volume because I have wind out here, and I know you're going to get wind noise. And my intention here is just to give you a flavor of what it looks like when you're actually blasting. I do have a respirator, safety glasses, a hat on. I'm not going to wear gloves because I lose a sense of feel when I do that. And the only other problem I can think of is this inexpensive media feed hose right here. It's probably going to get stiff. But let's go ahead and get started. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take these inside, and as I suspected, I'm going to have to hit them first with the glass beads in the cabinet because I'll be out here all day and waste a lot of my media. I'm going to hit them with glass beads, and I'm going to come back out and then re-attempt to clean them with the soda blast process. Just got out of the blast cabinet, and you can see I've got all the grunge off of the cylinder heads. Now I will go back outside and attempt to clean them once again with the soda blast unit. At this point, it's really a matter of not of cleaning these. It's really of trying to refine the finish. It's really a finishing operation with the soda because these have now been pretty thoroughly cleaned. So I'm going to go back out and reset up, and we'll see if we can't get this to work again. So we're just back inside from doing the soda blasting of the two cylinder heads. In fact, my hands are still a little cold. And I'm quite happy with the way they turned out. And you can see the inscription, the R and the L still comes through. They came out pretty good considering where we started with them, I think. You see, I think we talked about this before, that detonation right there from the probably low octane fuel and or mixture problem. The benefit of soda blasting, just to reiterate, is it gives a nice, even, smooth finish to the part, in this case aluminum, and it works really, really well on soft metals. If you were to compare this to the finish to what came out of the media blast cabinet that I use glass beads in, this is quite a bit finer, and it just gives that nice, relatively polished look to the part. So what I'll do with these pieces now is I'll take them over to the sink and I'll just rinse them in hot water to remove any remaining media. Let them dry. They're aluminum so they won't rust. I'll let them dry, and then I will take them to the surface plate, and using a piece of fine grit sandpaper, I'll tape that down to the surface plate. Then I'll invert this like this so the cylinder side is down, and I will do a little bit of a polishing kind of thing on the surface plate just to make sure that that's nice and flat before I put it back on the engine. So that's it for this video regarding soda blasting, media blasting, and what it can do for you and why I use it, how I use it. I trust it was of interest to you. Any questions, drop me a note. Otherwise, as usual, thanks for watching.